The initial sketch was really rough, really quick. I remember coming out into the bush down here, not too far from here, and looking up at Mount Laura and imagining, this figure elevated above the ground, much like the Red Dust Girl stuff that I've been doing for years, really. But this butterfly wings has crept into a few pictures of late. This was the original idea, and I've sort of just added a bit of detail, really. You have some sort of quick sketch that you think, oh yeah, that'll I'll try capture that, and it's what happens along the way, I guess the painting is in its own state of metamorphosis, in that it's slowly changing. I'm working it towards what I want it to be in the end, and I even don't know what that is. You don't always know with a painting what it's going to end up like. You have some sort of quick sketch that you think, oh yeah, I'll try capture that, and it's what happens along the way. Sometimes there's some happy accidents, some unintentional things, some deep thought, and you actually think, oh, this will work or that'll work. I I've been chipping away at a lot of paintings lately that have just been sitting there for months, and a couple have been a couple of years, and you know, they're just their company, and they're wonderful to go back to at the right time. And that's the mistake a lot of people make. Well, I think, and I've certainly made those mistakes in the past, where you try to work a painting or a picture when you're not really in the mood, or you're on a deadline. And it's the worst possible time to work on a painting. I've gone with it. I don't know, I just I like the look of it. I don't add a lot of colour in, particularly the colours of yellow and red, you know, bright in the butterfly's wings. But that said, I don't know if I'll have it all bright. I think I'll probably have a wash of burnt sienna or something like that over the top to muddy it up a bit, to give it that reddish look, very earthy colour that we see throughout the bush here and the ground. But it's a beautiful day, and I'm so glad I came out. This morning was overcast, and I kind of was happy with that, because when you're filming and you've got an overcast day, the light is not so bright, and I don't really have any filters on, ND filters or anything on the camera, so hopefully it's not too bright. I mean, it's a very individual, I wouldn't say selfish, but it's just something I love doing, and I'm not thinking about hanging it anywhere, or gallery, or people looking at it. It's pretty self-indulgent. But ideally, if it's hanging up in the studio or in one of the drawers, I can just capture it at a time when I'm not really thinking about working on it, and I see something, and it could be colour, could be some definition of some sort, or a change, and that's when I can go in there confidently and make those changes, or additions, or screw it up and throw it in the bin. I'm working it towards what I want it to be in the end, and I even don't know what that is. So I've got to get this landscape right. And that's the reason I'm up here, trying to get the colour of these bushes. Don't know if you can hear that. That's an aeroplane. An aeroplane. That's another word for a plane. Something I rarely do. I mean, one, talking to myself, and two, bringing a camera out and filming some of where my inspiration comes from, or what I'm thinking when working on a particular painting. I wanted to get this landscape right and come out here and and have a good look at these colours of the bushes. I can never get that right. I can never get the colours right of these bushes. Mind you, I don't paint many landscapes. This is probably the Metamorphosis is probably, I don't know, maybe the fourth or fifth, image with the landscape in, where I'm actually trying to paint the landscape as far as the bushes go. And this sort of salt bush, you're seeing back here, that colour is what I'd like to try and go for, but I always end up having it too dark. Always too dark in the bushes. So I'm going to try and rectify that in the studio tonight. I've taken a few photos, and particularly of these sort of bluey coloured bushes down in the foreground here. You probably can't see them on this camera shot, but so it's not quite a green, it's not quite a blue. I guess the painting is in its own state of metamorphosis, in that it's slowly changing. You don't always know with a painting what it's going to end up like. So we're just sitting in this spot looking at that beautiful landscape. Fresh air, it's a nice way to spend the day out here sketching. I'm really enjoying it.